being 50 years old fucking sucks.
I believe it. I believe it. See, we're both younger than you, Buzz, so we're not there yet. I think the Greeks should be pissed at everybody else for trying to steal their arithmetic, since they came up with arithmetic pretty much, and they like figured it all out. And then like everyone else was like, oh, okay, we're gonna steal that shit. And you know, the Greeks kind of never really got the credit. So like if I was part of the Greeks, you know, I'd be a little pissed at everybody. I don't know if you know anything about Viagra, and this is not a shot at you in any way, but I do know this. I don't know what age men start using.
I'll tell you something about that stuff in a second. Go ahead.
Well, I was already told about it because I go into work the other day, right? This guy comes up to me. He's younger. He's like 23. He comes up to me. He's like, yo. I'm like, what, you all right, bro? Why are you talking like? He's like, yo. And he kept saying yo over and again. I'm like, bro, you all right, man? He's like, listen. He's like, I just fucked for like 5 hours. I was like, oh, yeah? Word?
Yeah?
He's like,
really?
Yeah. He's like, 5. He just looked at me. He's like, big smile on his face. He's like, 5 hours, bro. And I'm like, yo, you're a fucking animal. That's what's up. He's like, bro, check this out. Pulls out a fucking Viagra. And I didn't even know what it was. I'm like, oh. I was like, what's that, some sort of Viagra? Like joking-wise. He's like, yeah. I was like, oh. I was like, that's. He's like, yo, listen. He's like, listen, I took one of these motherfuckers. 5 hours. It is January 26th, 2017. I'm your boy, Nicky Scarz. And unfortunately, for the rest of the show, I think it might just be me tonight. Chris Corruption is feeling a little under the weather. He's not feeling good. He did hit me up to let me know he wasn't going to be here. And Buzz, I don't know what happened to him, because he hit me up like maybe 3 hours ago. He's like, yo, I got a surprise caller calling in. That's all he said was surprise caller calling in. And I was like, all right. Like, and I tried to get him to like tell me if he thought, like, he'd let me know, since I'm like the host of the show, like, you know, who's the surprise caller, but he wouldn't even tell me. So that was like 3 hours ago. And he's been offline ever since. So I don't know, maybe he'll still pop up on the show, maybe not. I really don't know. It's not like either one of these guys to miss. You know what I mean? Chris has been talking about doing this show ever since I was doing Ground Zero Combat, and Buzz kind of got roped into it from the first episode, and he's made every episode so far. I was actually going to announce that today I was going to change the name of the show from just Two Darbarians to Two Darbarians and a Long Islander, since since he's been on the show. But now he's not on the show. So I guess the question is, do I punish Buzz and make him wait it out to change the show title, or do I just kind of look at it as something must have happened? And I did kind of dick him the one time. I do got a caller calling in though, so let's see who this is. Let's bring him in. 610 number. Who's this?
I'm Zach.
You're Zach?
Is Chris there?
No, Chris isn't here. I don't know. Chris doesn't feel good. Who's this?
I'm his kid.
Nah. Chris's kid calls and Chris isn't even on. Wait, who's
That's
this?
just rude.
That is rude. Wait, is this a kid of Chris's that I don't know? Wait, I know who this is. I know who. Hold on. You liked the status about the show, right? Didn't you like the status? You have the picture with Chris's, I guess it would be your aunt, Chris's sister.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw
that
you.
Was me.
Yes, we don't know each other. I'm a good friend of your dad, and
well, of course, he wouldn't do the show with people he doesn't like.
He called. I'm not gonna lie. He called him. Well, he messaged. He didn't even call. He messaged me earlier, and he said he wasn't feeling good, and he might not do the show. And I said, it's okay, because at least you called me to let me know that you were not feeling good, and I could figure out something else. And the other guy on the show, he just disappeared. But I have a niece that I don't even know on the line. So, hi. How are you?
Hi.
I'm happy
fine.
you called in. I'm happy you called
Yeah.
in. Your dad didn't. So, we can definitely make fun of him on air if you'd like. You know,
Of course.
whatever you want to say.
That's my favorite thing to do.
Really?
Yes.
This is great.
Dad does
I'm
not act
happy.
in front of his face. It doesn't matter.
Well, listen, you can, I mean, if you want to, like, make fun of him in any way possible, I am here to support you in any way to definitely talk.
You just became my favorite uncle.
Yeah, I am. You've become my favorite niece. So now I am even more happy to meet family on the show for the first time that I have never even met before. I have seen pictures of you, and I think we did meet one time, very long time ago. You were I don't know how old you are now, but you were younger, I believe. I think it was around the time Aiden was a baby. How old are you now?
I'm almost 16.
Okay, so you're 15. So you were probably like 12. Maybe 13. I don't know. I think I saw you before. Have you seen me before? Or am I just saying this? Am I wrong on this? Because I feel like I have.
You probably have.
I know I did.
Late.
You were just a lot younger.
My dad.
I think
you won't say hi to my mom yet.
No. I know your mom. I haven't seen her in years. Yeah, you can put her on. You can put her on. Nah, don't let her run away. Don't let her run away. She said no, she doesn't want to be on the show. How do you want to be on the show, but she doesn't want to be on the show? That's not nice. We should make fun of your mom and your dad now.
She doesn't like the fact that it's online.
No, she's too scared to get on the show? Why don't we all make fun of your dad together? Tell her she can get on the air right now and make fun.
You want to say hi to my sister?
Sure. Let me meet family I've never met before.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Your show just became a family reunion.
This is the best show out of all of them. Episode 4, the family reunion. We're gonna change the name of the show to the family reunion. Where's she at?
Hello.
Come on, you can talk. It's okay.
Who's this?
This is Nick. I'm your uncle. She's not as happy. Okay. What's your name?
Kimberly.
Oh. Kimberly. Well, it's Nick. I know who you are.
Last name?
Are you serious? You don't know who I am?
I only know one Nick, and that's Nicky. I know Nicky Scarz.
That's me.
Nicky Scarz? Okay.
Yes.
I didn't recognize your voice, and only Nick I knew was that. I'm just like,
yeah,
Scarz?
All right. Now
what?
We're getting on the same. Thank God. I'm sitting there like, do I know who these people are? Jesus. Now you have me now. All right. Now I feel a little like normal now. I'm like, am I talking to? Does your dad have 2 daughters named Kim that I didn't know? You know, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure. I got nervous for a second there. I didn't think you knew who I was.
No,
I've known you since you were a baby.
Yeah, the only thing I was thinking was like, I only know one Nick, and that's Nicky Scarz. So
that's the best Nick. That's the best Nick. Well, it's good that both of you's on the show. I hate to say your dad is not feeling good, and he called out of the show and said he was going to bed. So, I mean, if you guys want to make fun of him or talk about anything else in the world that you would like to talk about, you're on the show now. So, I mean, and everybody else that was supposed to be on the show, no one's here. There's only one other guy. He just disappeared. I don't know what happened to him. So, I mean, the show is yours, is what I'm trying to say. So, what would you like to talk about? Or we can make fun of your dad, or we could do whatever. But
there's a lot to talk about with my dad.
Well, let's. It's you have the floor now. Let's talk about it. Let's see. To give people a basis of why we don't really know each other, but we're sort of family. Chris is not really my brother. He's my best friend. We've called each other brothers since you were a baby. I remember a time when you were 1 year old and you were in a carriage and I think that's what they call it, a carriage. I don't know. You know, the thing you walk the baby in, right? And you were about 1 year old, and I took you and your dad to a barbecue that we weren't invited to go to. And it was really, really awkward. But since I was so young, because I'm younger than your dad. I don't know if you knew that or not. I'm like 3 years younger than him. So at the time, I was probably like 13 years old. And I didn't realize that. First off, you got to understand, I'm 13 years old, and I'm bringing my friend with a baby, you know? So I'm like in the 8th grade, right? So already it's like people are thinking like, wow, well, that's kind of weird. Why does your 13-year-old son, like to my dad, why does your 13-year-old son already have friends with children? Like, this world's coming, you know what I mean? But they just didn't realize that your dad was older than me. And you were in a crib, or I guess a carriage, or whatever you want to call it, and we ate this barbecue, and it was very, very awkward. And that was the very first time I ever met you. Like I said, like your dad was younger than you are now, so that's how young we're going back. You should definitely ask him about that sometime. But other than that, okay,
I'm like actually an adult now.
I know. Well, you're 18 now, right?
I will be 19 in like 3-4 months.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Jeez,
I'm gonna be 19 soon.
You're making me feel old right now. Jesus.
My brother's making me feel old. He's turning 14 in a few days.
You should not feel old, first off. You should, there is no reason. You saying you feel old is making me feel 3 times as old. So that I don't even want to think about. So you're turning 19. Jesus God. Well, how old's your dad now? Do you know? He's got to be, what?
My dad?
35, 36?
He's like 35, 36.
It's got to be. I'm trying to think.
He's 34? Oh, I don't even know his age. Goddamn.
Yeah, 34. Now, he might be 34. 34 might be right.
Yeah.
He might be 34. I'm not 100% sure. I just know he's like 3 years older than me. So, okay. Wow. Really make me feel old. You're turning 19. So what do you do? Are you like in college or anything, or are you like what do you?
No.
What are you doing with yourself?
I'm living with my mom, trying to find a job.
All right. Well, that's nothing wrong with that.
I'm engaged now.
You're engaged? What? Yep. Who the hell are you? What, the kid that you were dating like a year or two ago? Same guy or somebody else? I can't remember his name
4 years ago.
It wasn't that long ago. Yeah, gone. Yeah,
we've been together for almost 4 years now.
Jesus God. So you're 18 and you've been with your boyfriend since you were 14?
Yes,
or 15 or whatever. Are you like that's unheard of for someone to stay with the same, like, you know, high school is the year where people that actually says a lot for you. I'm proud of that. That's good. You know, because your longest relationship, I'm guessing, which is him, is probably my longest relationship. So, like 4 years, that's about my limit. I think I got to 5 years actually, but I've never been in one as long. This is crazy. I had no idea that. I remember you were dating him, and I know his I know his friend S-Rock, the kid Shane. I don't know if they're still friends.
Yeah,
or not,
Shane.
But if they Right. So I know Shane
don't really
from.
Talk anymore.
Nah, I haven't seen
No.
Shane. I used to record. You know, Shane recorded music, and I used to record him. And I remember when you like took off for a little while, a couple days or something like that, and your dad was all pissed off. And not to bring up things to upset you or anything, but this is such a funny story, and I don't know if you know this or not. But so you were with your boyfriend now, who's your boyfriend then, and you guys were staying at Shane's or something. It just so happened, right? So it just so happens that I was actually supposed to meet him that day at his place, for a completely different reason. And at the same exact time, we were looking for you, and I just didn't feel like going to Upper Darby. And I said, I'm not going there. And I never did. And you were there, and we were looking for you, and you just happened to be there, and I was just like, all right, I don't feel like going. And I would have, like, unexpectedly found you, and that would have been weird. Because I didn't even know that you knew who he was at that time. Like, I didn't find that out till later.
Yeah, I was with Tim, and Tim knew him, and he knew where he was. And...
Right. So I would have, like, indirectly found you accidentally without even realizing. You know how weird that would have been? I don't even know what I would have said to you. Like, because you would have been,
I
what?
don't even know what I would have said.
Yeah, like, I don't know what I could have... And it's funny, I never would have thought that I would be telling you that story, but I always thought that was funny. And obviously, like, your dad doesn't know who Shane is, but I do. But you do, which is weird. You know? That we would know the same person, not through your dad. You know what I mean? And,
yeah.
And then it was just weird. And then when I found it out, like, I guess he got a hold of you the next day or whatever, next 2 days, something like that. And that's when I put two and two together and I figured it out. It was like through Facebook I figured it out because I knew who he was. I think he was actually a Facebook friend of mine. Your boyfriend was. And I figured out that they knew each other. Right. And then I figured out they knew each other. And then I figured, and then your dad was saying where you were, and I was like, wait a minute, that was where I was supposed to go. And then I just thought to myself, well, that's kind of weird. Like, I'm like, you know, whatever. I just thought that to myself. So the only other person that would understand that story would be you. So I had to tell you that story. I figured it would have just been weird. It would have been weird. I don't know if I would have been like, I probably would have been like, yo, you should really call your dad. Like, I'm not gonna like tell you, like, I can't be like, get in the car, you know, I wasn't gonna be like that. I couldn't, but you know, because you're pretty much an adult, and you know, who am I to tell you what to do? But it was still like he was going crazy looking for you, and it was just funny that, you know, that's where you were, and I just didn't go there, and I'm happy I didn't now, because I would have felt awkward, and so would you, and then it would have been like weird, you know,
yeah.
Like I can't, I can't not tell your dad I saw you, but then I would feel bad. Like I'd be like giving up the tapes where you were and shit, and then I would just, you know. So yeah, so that's what happened. That's how it went.
Yeah,
down.
it's like it's just kind of a funny story how me and my boyfriend met.
Okay, let's hear this one.
So I went to Crisis.
You went to where?
A crisis, like a mental
crisis center?
institution.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I know what that is.
And he happened to be there at the same time, and that's how we met. But the funny thing is when I said my name, I said, "Yeah, my name's Kimberly Johnson," and he said, "Hold up, that's my sister's name."
Right, because he is also related to Danny, which is Kimberly's dad. Which is like, yeah, that's a whole weird thing too. I remember hearing that story. People listening live right now are going to think that it's like one big orgy in this place. Like, yes, that is also a friend of ours whose kid is your age, and yeah, that's weird. That's weird. I met your boyfriend when he was like 11. Because
yeah, he said he met you.
Yeah, he was like 11. He was a little kid. But never, it's weird how your dad, and his, I guess, stepdad, because that's Danny's not his dad, right?
Yeah,
right.
Danny's not his dad.
Right, they don't like each other, which I think is kind of funny. And they have the same last name, which I also think was kind of funny. And your aunt obviously has the same name, I guess, as his step-aunt. I don't know. It's weird. I feel like it's like some craziness, like two families with the same last name but aren't related in the same place. Yeah. So that's kind of how that went. And I remember hearing that he was. Sorry, say again?
Oh, and I found out that apparently we met each other when we were a lot younger, like in diapers.
You probably did. You probably did.
Yeah, because he used to go to Snow's Pizza when I was with my dad, and he used to go to Snow's Pizza every day. So.
And that was that was the next. Do you remember that? Do you remember living with him there? Because those were the times where I was always there. So like for like a good 2 years.
I don't really remember that far back.
Yeah, because I figured you were still pretty young. So for like 2 years you were there. I don't know if it was exactly that long, but it was something like that. And like that entire 2 years, I actually watched you grow, like from being like 2 to 4 years old. You know what I mean? Like you actually. Yeah, I used to throw this ball, and you would like get it. I don't know, trying to like put your business on air, but like it was almost like fetch. Like I would throw this ball, and then you would get the ball and bring it back to me, and like it was like this game you and me had. But you were like 2 or 3, so I know you're not going to remember it. But it's just crazy that you are an adult now, and other than the few times here and there that I talked to you very briefly, I don't think we've ever actually had a conversation this long, especially as an adult. You know, so this is actually cool. Like I'm happy you guys called. And your stepsister, I don't really know her, but I did meet her once, and she was a lot younger as well. So it was cool.
What,
she was gonna make fun
Becky?
of your dad. I thought that. Yeah. I thought that was cool that she.
Oh,
called
well,
in.
she's my full sister.
She's your full sister?
Yeah, that's
Wait a minute.
Dad's kid too.
Oh, Chris never told me that. Chris, wait, really?
Yep, he was
I
going
thought you
to
were
put his name on her
stepsisters.
birth certificate and everything.
See, Chris doesn't tell me all these things. Wow.
Yeah.
Chris keeps things to certain things. Chris will keep to himself. Something like that, he never even told me. I do know that he would say that she was his daughter. But I always looked at it like it's her daughter and not his, because I didn't know that like he was being serious. I always took it like it wasn't. It was because like I would always try to. I know this is gonna sound terrible, and like you have to understand, like obviously you have a lot of sisters.
Yeah.
So and a few brothers at this point now too. So obviously, being your father's best friend, of course I would make fun of him. Like, Chris, you have all these kids, Like, and I still do. And it's just funny. Like, you were always the first. So, like, I knew you well. And when I became his friend, you were, I don't know if you were right about to be born or just born. But it was like, you were like not even, you were like an infant. Like, when me and him originally became friends. So, like... I never could keep track. I'm going to be honest with you. I couldn't keep track. I don't know who Every 3 years, Chris.
Yeah, I think he has in total maybe 9 kids.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I thought.
I lost track.
But he tells me it's like 7, and I know it's like 9. I know it is. So he always tries to play it off like it's less, so it gives me less of a reason to make fun of him. But the truth is, I don't like. It's who he is, you know what I mean? So, we've been friends as long as you've been alive. So, it's just like something that, guys do to make fun of friends. Oh, yeah, 100 kids, So he would always bring the number down, because I hope I'm not making you feel weird saying this to you. Like, I'm not
no.
meaning to. No, okay, good. I'm happy.
I make fun of how many kids my dad has all the time.
Oh, thank God. Good. I'm happy.
Yeah, we're saying the new one is we're hoping it's the last of the Mohicans.
Well, we used to say that your dad had a cheerleading squad because you had all sisters and no little brothers, and then Aiden was born, and then we were like,
oh, don't have another.
Then he went and had another, but now he's got 2 boys. So now we're starting to think that maybe, like, he's just gonna have boys for a while. Like, when he was...
No more.
That's what I'm thinking. No more would be nice, but, who knows? He keeps having them. I don't know. We don't know.
We just keep on telling him they get snipped. Like...
Well, I've been telling him that since you were about 5 years old. Since he got to the third daughter, I was like, Chris, it's time you snip. Nah, I'm cool. All right. I think I'm done. Okay. Now he's got like 9, so he's still young. He's not like, you know what I mean? It's not like he's not a middle-aged man. He's still like in his early 30s. So like, you know what I mean? You got like another 20 years, you think, before he can't technically have kids anymore. Yeah. So that does worry me, because there's no way
end up
that
like 100.
What do you think that the final number will be?
I don't know. He'll at least be in like the double digits. So
that's what I'm thinking.
He's
got to be at least in the double digits. He's got to hit the double digits. And I always joke around with him saying that like he already's up to like 11. Like, you know, I always inflate the number more. But not like, you know, just to mess with him. But like I think he said last we talked about it, I think he said it was 7. But you know and I know it's definitely like 9. I knew it. See? I'm so happy you called.
Yeah, let's see. It's me, Julie, Jackie, Alexis Autumn.
Wait, who was the third?
Nikki.
Whoa, go back. You, Julie, who was the third one?
Zakia, that's my sister that we were talking about.
Right. He's always
and then Alexis Autumn.
So Alexis Autumn, that's 5.
Nikki,
Aiden, that's
Austin.
okay. Austin's the newest one, right?
Yes.
So Aiden, Austin, so that's 8. That's 8 we're up to. We're missing 1. We sure we got them all?
Yeah, but I mean, there's one that
there's got to be another one, right?
There's one that they said might be his. So.
Right, but we're not sure. Right.
Yeah.
I knew there was. I don't think, for the record, I don't think the one that is being said might be his is actually his. I think that's actually not actually his. So even though again we throw that in there too. Yeah. Okay. So we'll go with 8. So you are the oldest of 8. Well, your mom has other daughters too, right? Right. So you're like but you're the oldest of everybody, right?
In total, I am the oldest of 9 siblings because I have my little brother for my mom.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I got a
so
little brother. So
your mom only had what, 3, right? You Zakia and the
boy.
Right. Okay. So that's 3 on her. So that's not too bad. It's starting to feel a little bit like Game of Thrones.
3 on the mom and then 8 on the dad.
Yeah, this is feeling like Game of Thrones. Have you ever watched Game of Thrones?
Huh?
You ever watched that show? Have you ever watched the show Game of Thrones?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, in the show, there's a king and a queen, right? The king has like 19 kids, and the queen has like 3. And although it's not 19 and 3, it definitely feels like Chris is the king, because we're up to so 8. You know what I mean? 8 and 3. Wow. So you have 9 siblings. So what is that? 10 total?
It's
or 9 total.
It's like 9. It's 9.
Wow.
I'm the oldest of 9.
Do you feel like you obviously since you're the oldest of 9, I'm guessing you always took them like you kind of like I don't know your relationship with your brothers and sisters, but I'm guessing you would be like kind of like you felt like you were not in charge, but like the one that's got to guide the rest of them because you're the oldest. Is that fair to say, or?
Well, I don't really think I have to guide my mom's kids because they're pretty good at guiding themselves.
Right. She's funny.
Internet doesn't count, Zakia.
Your sister cracks me up. She said she was ready to make fun of him right away.
Yep.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. I like to. I hope that at some point I could actually build a relationship with you guys and actually get to know you as people, because it's funny, as you were 18, I've only met you, other than those 2 years where I saw you all the time. I mean, well, how many times have we actually met? Maybe a handful of other times? 6 times maybe?
From what I remember, the last time we met is when my dad had the silver Honda. Then we went to your house.
And the last time we met, I came to your place in Chester, and it was the first and only time I was ever there. I don't know if you're still at the same place or not, but at the time, so at the time, that was the only time I had ever been there. And I'm trying to remember, he had the Honda, but I believe at the time the girl I was dating had the red car, and we took we took the car over there, and we actually went there. I had never been there.
I remember the red car.
Right.
Yeah, I remember the red car and the.
Right, and that that had to be what 4 years ago, maybe 3-4 years ago.
That was, that was like when we were living at the one place. So that was definitely like before me and Tim actually started dating.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, so it had to be like 4 years ago because you said you was with him for 4 years.
Yeah, for almost 4 years. It'd be 4 years and like 5-6 months, like 3.5.
Congratulations. He treats you good and everything, I take it?
Yeah.
Good. I'm happy to hear that. That's really good. I never knew what your future was going to be. I never knew. I always wondered. I worried about you because you were so little, and you were really funny when you were a baby. You really were. The whole bald thing always cracked me up. And I always wondered how you were going to turn out because I just would never know. And I'm happy that you turned out great, and it seems like you're happy. I'm guessing. I don't know if you're happy or not, but I'm guessing you seem happy. And that's a really important thing in life is to be happy, and just whatever you got to do. So that's awesome. I'm really happy you guys called in. It sucks your dad isn't on. He literally hit me up about an hour before the show started and said, "Look, I really don't feel good." And he goes, "I'm just gonna go to bed. Do you mind?" And I was like, "Nah, man. If you don't feel good, just go to bed. I can't force you.
Yeah,
we don't make money. We don't make money off of this show. This was like more or less for fun. And really, it's supposed to make people laugh. And this episode turned into more of a wow, I haven't talked to you in years. We're family. Then into something funny, but it's fine because I'm happy I am really happy you guys called in. That's awesome. It sucks that it's this week. You guys got to call back in next week when he's actually on with us. And he's gonna listen to the show. He will listen to it.
Yeah.
So, especially when he knows that you stayed on with me almost the entire show. I have 12 minutes left before the show ends. So, there's a lot of questions I could ask you. I could ask you a lot of questions in 12 minutes. I don't even know what to say. Definitely caught me off guard with you guys calling in. It was a 610 area code, and I don't normally get people from this area to call in. Like most of the people that call in are from like New York. We had a guy from Los Angeles that called in last week, and so to get the 610 number, I just figured I shared it on Facebook. Maybe somebody from my Facebook called, and I didn't recognize your sister's voice, so I really had no idea. And then when she was like, "Well, Chris is my dad," I was like, "What?" I got thrown off completely. And that's cool that she called in. Your mom's a little nervous to get on the air, though. I don't think your mom likes me. I don't know why she doesn't like me. I think she thinks I was a bad influence on your dad. But maybe I was when I was 16 or 17 or 22 or whatever. But I have calmed down in my older age to be more like, normal. Here we go. We got a message right now. Maybe your dad's listening. Hold on. Let's see who this is. Oh, no. That's somebody else. I'm not mad at you. Good night. She's listening too. Good night. Good night. Not to you guys, but to the person who just messaged me. Yeah, I don't even know what to say now. This is unbelievable. So you're getting a job. What about your younger sister? She's in high school, I guess. You said she's what, 15?
Yeah, she's gonna be 16 soon. She's in high school, and she's just doing her own thing, trying to get through high school.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. High school can be tough to get through. I'm sure we all know that.
Yeah, I kind of went through 3 years of ninth grade.
Did you? You're smart, though. I'm surprised at that. I feel you always seem pretty smart.
Well, what happened was, since the beginning of school to 8th grade, they had me in special ed. Once I got to high school, they dropped me into regular classes, and it just all came to me at once. I was used to being in one class. I was used to being in one class all day with 15 people, my whole life, the same 15 people. Then I get dropped into like 8 different classes and all new people.
You weren't ready for it. Yeah, you got the shot. No. You got shocked. Why would they do that? They should have took you out before. If they were going to do that to you, they should have took you out in the 7th or 8th grade and then put you in classes from there. You know, you can't take a kid like that you keep in the same 15 people for 8 years and then drop them into regular high school. You probably, other than movies, you probably didn't know anything about it. You know?
No, I really didn't, and then so I'm gonna try to get my GED and stuff.
Did you get it yet, or you're in the process now?
Well, I gotta find where I have to go, and then that's why I want to get a job so that I can have money to get there.
I can help you. I can help you out with that off air if you want. If you want, I can. Do you have a Facebook or anything like that? Like, how would I get in touch with you if I was to talk to you off of here? Or do you have cell phone? You know, phone? All right. I hope I can talk to you again at some point. I help you out with stuff like that if you need help with any of that stuff. I'm pretty good with that stuff. I actually, I went to college and I actually took classes in like psychology and stuff like that. So like I know like for someone like you who's trying to get their GED, like I know I've helped people do that before. So if you want, I will tell your dad to give you my number, and then you give me a call sometime, and I'll help you out with that stuff. If you want it, you know, if you want help. If not, then that's fine. But if you would like it, I would definitely help you out, of course. So, because I'm pretty knowledgeable about all that stuff. If you need anything like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that off air, though. We don't gotta let the whole world hear about that. But yeah. Look, we got like maybe 3 minutes left in the show. So, is there anything you want to like say to your dad or anything, or I don't know, anything at all? I'm sure he'll hear it. Or anything else you want to pull up real quick before we get cut off?
Well, one thing I want to say is, like, I understand why he may not be feeling good because the baby's been really fussy lately. He's like, yes, the other day he came over to have me watch him for a minute so he could relax for a minute.
Well, yeah, he's got a lot on his plate, you know. He's got both kids, you know.
Yeah.
And she's a nurse, so she's, you know, not around as much. So he's
and when she's home, she's trying to do schooling. That's from what I heard.
Yeah, she's actually pretty good for him. I'm gonna be honest. When I met her, you know, I always give the you know, you're not sure about a person until you get to know them. So you give people a chance.
Yeah.
But she seems like her head is in the right place, and she seems like he makes him a better person. So if she makes him a better person, then that is, what else can you ask for? You know, that's you always want to hang out with someone that lifts you up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, like, that's just in any life, you know what I mean? You always want to be around people that bring you to be a better person. Like, that's just life. So she does that for him. So I hope you I don't know what your relationship is with her, but I hope you do give her somewhat of a chance because and I don't know her well. I've only met her like 3 times myself. But I'm just saying from what I've seen, that's what it seems like to me. So, you know, I hope you know, you all can build a relationship with each other, and I know it's kind of a crazy life for you. Trust me, I know.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm happy
I'm 18 and I have an infant brother.
Yo, I know, you do, and you know, who knows what the future will be? But you know, that's just life, and you got a lot of excuse my French, you had a lot of shit thrown at you and yours, and I know that, and you seem like a pretty respectable, nice person. Now that I actually talked to you throughout all these years later. So I'm so happy you called. Like, you really, like, you made my night with just hearing from you and your sister. And I hope you know, you take my number down or something off air. And you know, if you need any help at all with anything, you just give me a call. Any answers to anything, you know, with anything in life, you just hit me up, and if I can help you, I will. So I feel like for you, I would do that. So I just want you to know that, and thank you again for calling in. I'm very happy that you did, and your sister as well. And I'm hoping at some point, sometime in the future, I will meet or something, and I'll take you out to lunch or something like that. I don't know, something like that. So on that note, that's pretty much it. The show's about to be over.
Yeah.
So thank you again for calling, and call next week if you want to really mess with your dad, and I will definitely mess with him with you, and we'll definitely we'll bust his balls a little bit. So, all right, please tell your sister I said bye. And on that note, that's pretty much the end of the show. I want to thank anybody that did listen. This show ended up being family coming together that don't really know each other. So, on that's it for the show. So, thank everybody listening live. We'll be back on next week at 11 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio. And you all have a good night. And Kimmy, thank you for calling one last time. I appreciate it. You take care and have a great night.
You too.
All right, bye-bye. And goodbye, everybody else listening live. I'm Nicky Scarz. Check us out next week.
Welcome to Metro PCS.
Hi, I heard you're giving free phones to everybody?
Yes, right now, everybody gets a free phone. You and your friends, cousins, neighbors, roommates.
What if I'm already with Metro PCS?
Yeah, it's for existing customers, new customers, people named Willie, dog lovers.
That's awesome.
Everyone gets a free phone at Metro PCS. Come choose your select free phone from brands like Samsung and LG. Metro PCS. Wireless figured out. Sales tax not included. Phones free after instant and mail-in rebates. Upgrade fee may apply. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.